Hi, I'm Anne Winslow. I'm a wellbeing practitioner, and today I want to share with you my story of how future life progression and past life regression has impacted my life. It all started in 2014 and I booked onto a training programme with Anne Jirsch. Anne Jirsch is actually quite a pioneer in future life progression. Some people have never even heard of it, and it is changing lives. So I was really excited and honoured to be going on this workshop. And as I was travelling, my phone rang. And so answering it, it was a local TV station, and they asked me if I would want to go the following week and be recorded for their Friday show. And they told me it was a format very similar to the One show. And so I said, yes, great, thank you, got all the details, put the phone down, and I thought, oh my gosh, how on earth am I going to go on the TV? I'll be a wreck. And then the thought just came, I'll learn everything I need to learn over these next few days at the training. So off I went on my training, had the time of my life, absolutely amazing, wonderful experiences, learnt so much. And then 3 days later, after I got back, was the morning of my recording. And so in the morning, I felt quite nervous, and I thought, right, I've got to do what I learnt. I've got to use these techniques. So I sat myself down, I closed my eyes, I took myself to my nice little quiet place, and I asked the future me that's done lots of recordings, that's been on the TV loads of times, who's very experienced, who's very confident, to connect with me. I didn't even think such a me existed, but I knew that was what I needed. And so I got the vision and the sense of this future me. And I remember Anne saying to us, just go with whatever comes, even if it feels like you're making it up, just go with it. So I went with it, and I felt this confident me. She was calm, and I asked her to come into my energies and be a part of me. And I got the most beautiful, calm feeling. And I thought, wow, this is great. So off I went then, I took myself to the recording studio. I had to wait 45 minutes in the reception area, but I was still calm, and I was thinking, thank you, future me, thank you, future me. They took me through to the recording studio and mic'd me up, and they said, have you done this before? And I said, no, never. And they said, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine, thank you. And I can remember thinking the most important thing was to keep calm. If I was calm, then I would dare to do it again. Even if the content wasn't good, I could work on that. But if I panicked and had an absolute flap, then I'd never dare do it. Then that future me would never ever exist. And so I thought, keep calm, keep calm. And I was 10 minutes on the settees, and it went really well. I kept calm. I didn't know how it would appear because it wasn't going out live, and I had to wait a little while. But all I was just so thrilled with, it worked, that future me had come into me, the energies were there, and I was calm. And since then I've actually been on their TV station 3 times. They've actually asked 4 times, they've asked me back 3 more times. And each time I sit quiet, I get in my nice little place, and I invite that future me to be with me. And so I sort of think it's amazing. I actually have enjoyed going on the TV now. And also it's like that future me could actually be a possibility now. So who knows, I may be on the TV or not. But my other experience of past life regression is also quite amazing. After we'd come back, I thought, right, I want to play with this, I want to use it, it's amazing. So I sat again, took myself in my quiet place, and I said, take me back to a life that's of significance, that will be of value to me to connect to now. And so I took myself back and back, and I got the sense of a man and test tubes and Bunsen burners and lots of activity. And I thought, oh, he's a chemist, and there was all this activity going on. And I watched, and then I became aware of people, lots of people coming and going, lots of people. And he seemed to be dispensing something. And I became aware that he was a homeopath. He was actually a chemist producing his own homeopathic remedies. And it was so bizarre. And I remember Anne Jirsch saying to us, ask names, ask dates, and if you don't know, guess. And so I thought, what's the name? And I thought, I don't know. I thought, guess. And I got Cook. And I thought, what year were you born? And I thought, I don't know. I thought, guess. And I got 1830. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. Then I decided to try and interact with him a little bit. And so as I started to interact with him, I was amazed. And he said to me, come back tomorrow and I'll make a remedy for you, your own special remedy. And so I ended the process, brought myself back to present time, and went and shared with my husband how this amazing experience, how weird and wonderful it was. And so the next day I was excited to go back and got my remedy. So I closed my eyes, took myself into my nice place, travelled back again, and he was there with his remedy waiting for me. So I took this remedy and I thought, wow, this is bizarre, I wonder what's going to happen here. Brought myself back, sharing it with my husband, how weird's this? And he was on his computer and I said, put in chemist, homeopath, cook, 1830. And he put it in and up came Charles Cook, homeopath, chemist, born 1830. So I was so shocked and amazed. So then we were so interested to follow on. And it turned out he was born in the UK in 1830. He trained to be a homeopath and he was also a chemist. He emigrated to Australia in his early 20s and he had a thriving homeopathic business in Australia, working till he was about 70 and he died when he was 73. And there was also a cutting out of a newspaper with the words promoting his business, come to my thriving homeopathic business. I worked from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Every day, and I thought, wow, that's a lot of hours. And I remember I'd seen people busy, lots of people, so it was all making sense. So I started every day going and seeing him and getting a homeopathic remedy. So you sort of think, well, yeah, that's nice, but what's happening? But what happened there was, at the time I was quite a chocoholic, and it had taken the pleasure away because I could never get enough. I'd have some, I'd want more. I'd be driving home thinking, shall I call in the shop? Oh, how much shall I get? Shall I get some from husband? Shall I share it? Shall I eat it all? Going to the shopping down the chocolate aisle. Oh, what's an apple? What should I have? And it just wasn't a pleasure anymore. And so I can remember saying to the universe, I don't want to use willpower to stop eating chocolate because that's a struggle, it's a deprivation. Can you just take away the desire so it's easy? And that's what happened, taking my homeopathic remedies every day with Charles Cook. The desire for chocolate went. And that's over 2 years ago and I don't eat it. And it isn't like I daren't eat it now. I've tried it odd times. And I just sort of think, no, I don't want to go down that path because I know it leads me down to that obsessive path. And so if I want, I can have it, but I choose not to. So there isn't a willpower, there isn't a deprivation, there isn't, I can't ever touch it, but it just feels liberating. I actually feel liberated not being obsessed driving home. Shall I call at the shop? I don't even think about the shop. I don't even think about the chocolate aisle in the supermarket. So for me, it's been liberating. But equally, you may think, well, yeah, this is all a little bit weird and far-fetched, but there's actually scientific evidence that can back this up. I've done quite a few of David Hamilton's workshops and he's quite amazing. He's a scientist, he's a chemist, he's a doctor, and his book, How Your Mind Can Heal Your Body, is really, really powerful. I did a workshop of his called Integrating Science, and he actually said, the mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. Now that absolutely amazed me. It's quite profound. The mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So when I'm doing this inner work, scientifically my mind thinks it's real. And then equally, he used to be a chemist creating drugs, working for a pharmaceutical company, and he became that fascinated by the placebo, that the placebo was often nearly as effective as the actual drug. So we know placebos work. So in an essence, I was seeing this as my mind thinking it was real, and I was taking those homeopathic remedies as a placebo. So to me, it backs up even scientifically if people think, oh, that's all a little bit weird. So it's just been a beautiful journey. I then got the impression that this Charles Cook wanted me to take it out in my work to share it with other people. So now I'm starting to offer it to one-to-one clients and in my group sessions where people can be guided to meet Charles Cook, tell them about their situation, what they want help with, and let him watch and let him create them a homeopathic remedy and then take it. And then they've got the ability to do that themselves in their own mind because their mind thinks it's real. So, thank you very much for listening to my story. I hope you found it interesting. Have a lovely day and love and blessings to you all.